Hey there, I'm going to be getting started with my 11 by 14 inch stretch canvas and my image already laid out as you can see. And if you'd like to trace this out, this image is available down in the description box as well as colors and materials and a short video on how to transfer images to your canvas. Okay, so I have my 1-inch flat brush to start with, and on my palette I have some Phthalo Blue, raw umber, burnt umber, permanent red. This is light portrait pink, and to get this value, if you don't have this, you just take a little bit of red and just a pin drop of raw umber and then mostly titanium white, and then you'll get this light value about the same. Okay, Cad Orange, yellow medium, and as I said, titanium white. So I'm going to start in the sky here in the background. I'm going to take some Phthalo Blue, and I'm just going to dull that with just a little bit of raw umber, and now a good scoop of white. Okay, kind of something like that, and just a basic blue tone just like this, and I'll just start filling in the sky with this. Okay, so without cleaning, I'm just going to take some raw umber and phthalo blue together. Essentially, that gives me kind of a black or a very dark Payne's gray. So this is my darkest piece in this, darkest color in this piece. And I didn't want to use permanent black because that just doesn't look as natural, I don't think, in a landscape. So just going to take my brush now, and I'm going to make the indication of a tree, just kind of throw up some branches. And the blue paint is still a little bit wet, and that's perfect because I kind of want to blend this into it just a little bit because the background is out of focus, also known as bokeh, and I want those fuzzy lines. But for now, I'm just really blocking in stuff, not really worried about effects. So just going to go back into that dark value again, something about this tone, and let's apply some of this dark value in here. Okay, a little indication of a pine tree in the background. I'm going to leave some openings there for some more values later. Okay, just continuing on with this dark value in some places. Okay, with a clean brush now, I'm going to go into some light portrait pink, and let's get just a teeny bit of yellow medium that just warms it up. Okay, something like this, I'm just going to block in our sun area. Okay, and also with that same value, as you can see, I'm just going to put in the indication of some background clouds. Okay, you can put these wherever. If you don't like them, cover them with that blue value, and it's all good. Okay, with a clean brush now, I'm going to go into Phthalo Blue, and I've added to my palette now some violet. I'm going to take a little bit of that and some titanium white. So the violet just really ramps up the royal shine of the blue here. And with this value, let's block in with this. Okay, no cleaning necessary. I'm going to take some raw umber and blue again. That's my darkest value again in this piece. Let's go back to that, and I want to place these dark values in their general location. Okay, again with a clean brush, and I'm going back into that portrait pink. Let's add a little bit of Cad Orange, a little bit of burnt umber into that just to dull it down a little bit. Okay, kind of something like this. I want to place this value in. I'm going to start building the glow of the sun here around everything. So let's get a little raw umber now into that. A little bit more orange. I want to darken it just a bit. Okay, kind of something like this, and let's block in with this. Okay, a clean brush again, and going back into that royal violet and phthalo blue color, a little bit more white, and let's block in some more with this. Okay, with a clean brush, back to that portrait pink and some of that orange and yellow in it and some white. Maybe a little bit of brown, just a dull light kind of color. Let's block in this. Okay, I've added some light magenta now. This is that pinkish color here that you see. I'm going to take some of that. I'm going to go into some of that portrait pink color, and let's get some titanium white. Okay, just a teeny bit of yellow medium that just warms it up. It gives it a warm glow, kind of something like this, and let's block in our foreground, or I'm sorry, our background snow with this. Okay, with the clean brush now, I'm going back into that royal blue color with that violet, phthalo blue, a little bit of white. Let's go in now on our shadow part of the snow, and I'll just start blocking in generally where this value goes. So as you can see, I'm not going to go try to get every little detail around all of the snowflake just because I have a 1-inch brush. I'm going to use instead my angle brush for that. So I'll get to that in just a moment, and I'll just block in pretty much where I can fit this for now. Okay, a little titanium white without cleaning, just a little bit of a lighter value here, just to put in some mapping values together. Okay, I have my number 6 angle brush, my smaller angle brush, to get into more detailed areas around the rest of the snowflakes here. So with this brush now, I'm just going to go into that same blue value and continue on with this. Okay, with a clean brush now, going into some of that portrait pink and some of that magenta color here, just kind of mixing those up again. And with this light value, I just kind of want to strike some highlight stuff here along the snow in the foreground. Okay, loading more of that portrait pink up here. Okay, not cleaning my brush. Just kind of something like this. And again, this is my number 6 angle brush with those nice edges and tips. It gets into things really well. Okay, I highly recommend this brush for doing around the snowflakes and also blocking them in. Okay, it really is very precise, very easy to go into small areas. Okay, so with this value, I'm just going to take this brush and block in our snowflakes. Okay, up here, I'm just going to go a lighter value so I don't lose the snowflake into that other pink value there. So a little bit portrait pink, some more titanium white. And as you can see here, lighter value means that I don't lose my image in the background, and it's all good. Just a little bit of change, and of course these aren't final colors. This is just blocking stages, so I find that changing the value just a little bit is very helpful when blocking in, especially around similar values. So going into more value now, less white, you can see it's more opaque now and more saturated. It just blocking in the rest of them. Okay, I have my number 4 natural flat bristle brush. The natural bristles are going to do these bokeh effects now in the background. So I'm going to pick up some portrait pink now. Let's go a little bit of yellow medium. Okay, and some titanium white to brighten that. And this is going to be for some clouds, and I'm just going to go and just kind of start filling them in. And the harder I push with the brush, the more paint that I lay down, the more opaque it is. And of course, when I use very little pressure, as you'll see here, it's very light and very transparent, and I can dust it out and also give it that bokeh effect with those fuzzy blended lines. So I recommend a natural bristle brush for these effects for bokeh and out of focus when doing these things. They work super awesome. And you can also use a flat brush. You just have to use very light pressure to kind of dust out the lines and everything else and give it more of that blended look. But other than that, this is a really neat way to really make these effects. So as you can see, more paint here, getting more opaque in some areas and more faded and more transparent in other places. Okay, so anything you want to do, cover it if it's out of whack. You can take that blue color and knock anything back. Okay, no cleaning. I'm just going to take some raw umber now into that same value. Okay, just a little bit darker, kind of like this. And let's add some shadow stuff here and there and blend that out. Okay, with that same shadow color again, right here in the clouds, let's add some body into this as well. Okay, and as I mentioned before, you want a very dry natural bristle brush. Okay, it's a very dry brush that gives it those nice effects. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go into Phthalo Blue, a little bit of titanium white. Okay, again, that very light sky color again, and I want to go on top of some of the tree here. You'll see it's just going to sort of make some of the branches disappear into the sky, and some of the bokeh is how that happens when things kind of blend and kind of get lost and blend in. So now I'm taking that dark value of raw umber and phthalo blue. I just kind of want to put some of that dark value back in here just a little bit. Okay, and I want to leave those fuzzy edges though on the very outside. Again, those fuzzy edges tell us that it's out of focus. Okay, and also right here, I want to add some more of that. And as you can see on the very outsides, I'm just going to do this very light blending and give it those fuzzy lines. Okay, with a clean brush, more portrait pink now. And let's go back into raw umber to darken that back down again. Okay, something like that. And let's work some more shadow stuff in here. So as you can see, I'm leaving the middle here bright, and this is to show the sunlight coming through as I have those shadows surrounding it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the middle alone. So let's go a little bit of Cad Orange, a little bit of yellow. Let's go some burnt umber now. Okay, into that portrait pink, a little bit of white. Let's get a little bit more yellow to warm that up. Okay, just kind of something like this, kind of a dull peachy kind of tan color here. And I want to start working this on the very outside of our sun glow area here. Okay, and as you'll notice as I take the brush, it has very little paint on the brush. Again, a very dry, natural bristle brush, and I can fade this in and give it that out of focus look as well as that glow and that shine that's going to be happening around this. So just kind of something like this. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take some raw umber, and let's go into that same mixture of color of the portrait pink. Let's get a little bit more Cad Orange into that. Okay, a little bit of burnt umber this time. Okay, maybe a little yellow to warm that just a tad. Okay, and now a little bit of white. Okay, so something like this. Again, a dull, kind of light orange color here. And I want to go around here and just, again, very little paint on the brush and a very dry or natural bristle brush, and I can blend this in. And again, that makes it a nice glow that's starting to happen for the sun area and giving it that out of focus look. Okay, and also around these dark areas, I want to go on top of it to show the sun that's very bright and all this light that's infiltrating and some of these objects getting lost in the sunlight. Okay, so now I'm going to go and do a little bit of phthalo blue, some titanium white. Let's go back into that orange value just a little bit, and by mixing it, I'm looking for a very dull, kind of light blue color. Okay, reflective light as I'll call it, and again, very dry, natural bristles gives me that fuzzy, out of focus look. Okay, with a clean brush, I'm going to go to some light magenta and permanent red. And let's get a little bit of portrait pink into that. Okay, that desaturates it down a little bit. Let's do that even more with some titanium white. Okay, kind of a muted sort of reddish color here. And again, very little paint with the brush. And I just want to go on the very outside and kind of just glaze this color over. This is going to really build a nice glow and a nice bright sun that's coming through here. Alrighty, with a clean brush now, let's get a little yellow medium now. Into that, mostly titanium white. I want a very light yellow color here. Okay, something about this value, and I want to go right here in the center, and as paint runs off the brush, I'm just going to fade this out into those other values, and of course not cover them all up, and this is really going to start to build the shine of the sun this way. Okay, something like that. Ain't that nice? Okay, so now without cleaning, I'm going to take some portrait pink and let's get some Cad Orange into that. Okay, kind of something like this. And I want to kind of strike these little sun rays that are coming out. Okay, just kind of something like this. And I'll just work just, again, a very little amount of paint on the brush. If I don't put enough, of course, I can always add more, but too much just gives me a big mess I don't want to have to clean up and deal with. So, especially with these bokeh effects and building up glow and wanting to blend things in a small area, I don't want a whole lot of paint. Okay, so I'm going to go again back into Portrait Pink. Let's go to Cad Orange, get a little white into that. Okay, this orangey kind of glow tone here, and let's do this. Okay, no cleaning, and I want to go into some Portrait Pink again, and this time more titanium white. Okay, just a lighter value, and right here I want it to get a little bit brighter and show kind of this cloud that's getting enveloped by some of the sunlight here. Okay, and in this way too, it just kind of brings the picture more together when you have clouds that are kind of involved here with everything going on. Okay, a little bit more pressure with the brush. You can see more paint being laid down. It's more opaque here. Okay, and just lightly dusting out the edges here into that already faded stuff. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take some permanent red. Let's get some yellow medium and a little titanium white. It still has that light portrait paint color, and it's going to give me this sort of dull yellow orangey color here, or reddish orange color, I should say. Okay, on the very outside again, I want to do another coat and do more of an effect again. So just playing these colors back and forth, building up layers, and each time it makes the effect of the bokeh and the blending and the glow and the vibrance of the colors. All of those things pop and become more dramatic each time. Okay, so no cleaning again. I'm going to take some orange now, and let's go to some titanium white, go back into that portrait pink mixture here. Okay, just kind of something like this, and I want to apply this right here. Alrighty, with a clean brush now, I want to go titanium white. And I just want to put just a little yellow medium into that, but mostly white, so I'll get a little bit more. And I really want to start making this thing bright. The sunshine here really beaming through the picture, infiltrating, just lighting this whole thing up. So where I want it the heaviest and the brightest, and then as paint runs off the brush, just dragging it out. And of course, with more pressure, I can lay down more paint, and then light pressure, I can easily blend this out very well this way. Okay, without cleaning now, just taking a little bit more yellow medium. And right where this red meets the white here that I put down, I want to blend this into the red and also into the white. Okay, this really ramps up the shine and the glow this way, adding this yellow in here. And again, with these natural bristles, easy to blend this stuff with these brushes. All right, look at that shine and glow. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to take some light portrait pink now. And with this, I want to, once again, add another layer, and let's build up more vibrance on the colors and get more dramatic with it. Okay, again, with a clean brush and pure titanium white, I want to go again another coat and do the same thing. Okay, so right here, this is like a little house or structure here on a property. Let's go with some highlights and build up some things. I'm going to take some phthalo blue, a little bit of this violet, okay, a little bit of titanium white, and it's this very light kind of royal blue color with that violet in it. Okay, and again, these natural bristles here, I'm just going to scratch these in kind of wherever, and of course cover anything that I don't like with that dark value. Okay, on the very outside, you'll see too, I'm just going to kind of rub that out very gently and give those fuzzy kind of faded lines here to show that it's kind of blending into the picture. See, and that just keeps that bokeh out of focus going really well. Okay, going back into the raw umber and phthalo blue for my darkest value, and again, just very light pressure, just kind of want to knock some of that down a little bit to kind of show it fading into each other. Okay, and right here on the very outside, I want to give this faded blended look, and again, that ramps up our out of focus effect this way. Okay, with a clean brush, going to get some phthalo blue and some titanium white, and to that a little bit of this violet to it. Okay, more white, a little bit more blue, just looking for that royal blue color again. Okay, just kind of something like this. And right here, I kind of want to show some snow in the background that's in the shadow here. And kind of have this in front of this object. So see, anything you want to change, it doesn't matter if something comes down too far like I just did there. I can just change it and cover it and make this anything I want at any time. So with paint left on the brush, you can see I'm just sort of brushing the outsides here. And again, that gives me my fuzzy lines and makes everything look out of focus this way. Alrighty, no cleaning. I'm going to take just some titanium white. And with this brighter value here and very little paint on the brush, I'm just going to scratch this in and really show some light kind of zinging around. And one thing you'll see in the bokeh world is little, how do you call it? Just little glazes of white just here and there. It really takes the bokeh to another level. It really gives it that out of focus and blurry effect even more. As you can see here with some of that lighter value, it really just does something. See, just like that. And also right here, I'll put a few bokeh lights and just kind of swirl it in circles. Just kind of doing something like this. And of course, I can cover anything with a darker blue value if it's not right or whatever, so it's all good. Okay, clean brush, and I'm going to take some portrait pink. And right here, I can touch this now. And as I do that, look at how it just makes it transparent this way. And then with very little paint left on the brush, I can make one even more transparent this way. You can also use matte medium, but I find that's just kind of messy for me. So I like to just do the finger tap or like very little paint on the brush kind of thing with these natural bristles, and I find that I can get the effect just the same and control it a lot better without the mess. Okay, so just adding more orange there. That's going to be a solid light one. And now I'm going to go into some raw umber without cleaning. And I want to surround this and make this pop just a little bit. So as I work this shadow color, you'll see it really makes it look like maybe there's brush in the background, and the sun is so bright that when it shines through, some of these brushes or whatever they are, bushes, are getting lost in that sunlight. And it also gives these colors a place to contrast. All right, just really glowing there, showing some really cool stuff. Okay, with a clean brush, I'm going to go to portrait pink. It's got a little orange in there. Okay, I want to block in right here and just kind of do some of these bokeh lights, kind of like this. Okay, with a clean brush, I'm going to go into Phthalo Blue. And just a touch of violet to that. Okay, again, my shadow snow color. And I want to go just kind of around this orange stuff that I just did. Very little paint on the brush, a very dry natural bristle brush. And fading that in just a little bit and having the edges kind of blend in, it really gives that bokeh effect. Okay, something like that, and without cleaning, I'm going to take some titanium white now for a very light blue, and again, very little paint on the brush. Just going to strike some highlights, and with my finger, just kind of settle that down if it is a little bit too much paint. Okay, same thing here. Another way to get that out of focus and settle something down if it's too strong. Okay, and also right here, I'll put some of that in here as well. And again, these lighter values really just bring out the bokeh and that blurry effect that much more. All right, something like that. It just takes it all to another level. How about that? Okay, with a clean brush now, pure titanium white, another layer means more opaque. It means more vibrant. It means the blending gets smoother. And I want to make this thing more dramatic and pop and shine ever more. So again, blending it out and starting it where I want it at the heaviest and the brightest. Okay, a little bit of white now. I want to go on top of this just to brighten it just a little bit. Okay, now I have my number 6 nylon flat brush. I'm going to do something to make a solid bokeh light right there. I'm going to load up with that orangey color again, and I'm going to push and turn my brush. Okay, I loaded it pretty good with a good amount of pigment so that I could do that. Okay, and I can also do it this way too to show fuzzy ones and give more of a transparent effect if I want to. Okay, so a couple ways to do some bokeh lights. And I'll just continue to work with this brush for a little bit. I'm going to take now some raw umber and phthalo blue for my dark value again. Okay, something like this, and I want to add this color back in. And of course, I don't want to take over all that faded stuff, but I just sort of want to come up to it and then kind of dust off into it to keep that out of focus by getting that blended, broken fuzzy line again. Okay, so again, a little bit of light came over it too much, but that's all good. I can just put the black right back in. Okay, now I'm back to my number 4 natural flat bristle brush. Again, I'm going to go back into that orangey portrait pink color here, a little bit of titanium white. Okay, something light like this, and very little paint on the brush again, and very little pressure in these natural bristles, and look at that transparency I can create with that. Okay, super well with this brush. I highly recommend this brush for these effects. Okay, so something like that, and now let's go into some titanium white. And again, very little pressure with the brush and very little paint. Okay, just doing these subtle little sun kisses, just like this. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to go again, my dark value of Phthalo Blue and Raw Umber. Just a little bit of paint on the brush, and again, I want to bring this back in just a little bit where I covered it up too much. And fading off the lines, of course. Keeping that all fuzzy and blended, and let's give a little thing up here like this. Yeah, I don't know, a couple cars parked there maybe, in front of a house maybe. Okay, with a clean brush and getting a little portrait pink with some of that Phthalo Blue and Raw Umber. And a little dark value here. I just want to start striking just little shadow areas just here and there with this. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to go back into my dark value of the Raw Umber and Phthalo Blue. And right here, I want to put back some of what hey, let me try that again. Some of what got covered up, yo. Know what I'm saying? So just kind of something like this. You can see again, leaving those fuzzy lines alone on the very outsides of them. And I figure this is a pine tree in the background. Just got a little snow on it, kind of in the shadow, but I wanted to make it more obvious this way. So just filling those back in. Okay, clean brush, and let's go back into portrait pink, a little bit of yellow medium, a little bit of titanium white. Okay, something very light. And right here where the snow is getting hit the hardest by that awesome sunlight, let's put that right here. Okay, no cleaning. Let's go back into some titanium white, get a little Cad Orange, a little yellow medium, back into that light portrait pink. Okay, just kind of mixing up this golden tone in a way. Okay, I want to put some of that in here as it leaves away from that titanium white area. This is going to build the glow and the shine on the snow a little bit and just kind of show the sun kind of bouncing off of it. Alrighty, again, no cleaning necessary. I'm going to take some burnt umber this time and some raw umber. Let's mix those and get that orangey portrait pink color mixed into it. And looking for a darker shadow color. Okay, that's in a way still kind of in the sun, but not directly in the sun. And right here, I'll just go ahead and scratch this just here and there. And of course, anything I don't like, I'll just take that other value and cover it up. And of course, as always, I don't want to take over all the value that's there, but I want to play along with it. Okay, now with a clean brush, I'm going to go back into that portrait pink mixture, a little bit of yellow medium. Let's get some titanium white. Okay, I want a more yellow hue. And no, it's not what you think. I know it's snowing, I know this is yellow, but we know it's from the sun, so I'm going to take this up into some of that right here. Okay, just kind of shows the sun enveloping and coming down and hitting the snow that way. Okay, now I'm going to go with a clean brush, some of that phthalo blue with a little bit of that violet into it. Okay, a little bit more violet as you saw there, and I want to darken some areas with this. Okay, with a clean brush, going back into the light portrait pink now. Okay, just a teeny bit of paint on the brush. I want to show some light kind of sneaking into the shadow area. Alrighty, I'm going to get now a clean brush. I'm going to go back into that phthalo blue and that violet. Okay, I want to play this on top of some of this stuff, just kind of settle it down and show some breaks in between some of it. Okay, I have my number 3 nylon round brush now. I'm going to use the tip to kind of sparkle up some of these highlights here. I'm going to take some of that light portrait pink and just kind of use the tip to play that on top just a little bit. See, just kind of like that. And I like to build up colors and get lighter before I just do pure titanium white, because I feel like all the values that play together have different light play bouncing around, and it just makes it more realistic and pop that much more. Okay, so I'm going to go again into some portrait pink, and I'm going to take now some of this magenta, or light magenta. And again, with the tip, you can see just kind of working this value in, and this really shows the sun kind of playing off with reflective light, and it shows some of the detail of some of the snow sparkles that are happening. Alrighty, no cleaning. I'm going to just take now some of this violet. Okay, pulling through, getting a little bit of white. Okay, pulling through as I turn it brings it to a nice tip. And with that tip, I'm just going to, again, tap in just some of this here and there, but not everywhere, and really sparkle up some of the snow. Okay, with a clean brush now, I'm going to go into just pure titanium white. And again, pulling through as I turn it brings it to a nice sharp tip. And I'm just going to place that here and there and really sparkle up some of the snow with this. Okay, no cleaning. I'm going to go into some yellow medium now and a little light portrait pink and titanium white. Okay, pulling through as I bring it to a nice sharp tip, and right here I want to hit a very direct highlight on this ridge of the snow here. This really shows the sunlight really hitting at full strength. Okay, so now I have a really bushy 1-inch flat brush here. You can see all those bristles frayed out. I'm going to use that. And first I'm going to make my phthalo blue and violet with some titanium white mixture here, so I can tap that brush into it. Okay, just kind of something like that, picking it up, smashing it down, gets all the color mixed really well this way. Okay, and now as you can see, I'm going to tap in this bushy flat brush here, and all those bristles frayed out are going to make it really easy to do these effects here. I want to show some sparkling snow and just kind of how, you know, when sun hits it, it just kind of has this kind of melted look to it where it gets kind of crystallized looking and you can see all the sparkles on it. So just going to really place that here and there. If there's something I don't like, of course, I'll take that darker blue and just, you know, knock back some of it. All good. Anything I want to change at any time. Okay, just sort of running the rest of that. Okay, back to my number 3 nylon round brush again. And again, just pure titanium white. It's got a little teeny bit of that blue in there, but mostly white. And I just want to, again, with the tip, just hit some of these sparklers here and there. Okay, so now we have some nice sparkling snow here. Now back to my number 4 natural flat bristle brush. I'm going to take some of that violet, a little bit of raw umber to dull it just a bit, and now titanium white. Okay, something about this value, and I'll go ahead and play this value on the snowflake here, and this will start to give it shape. And of course, with these natural bristles, it's going to make it out of focus. Okay, no cleaning. I'm just going to pick up titanium white. Okay, just kind of something like that. And let's put some of this on. This is really going to give the indication that it's ice and you can see through it. And it's also going to show the sun hitting it and making it sparkle just a little bit. And of course, natural flat bristle brush will give it those out of focus fuzzy lines. Okay, with a clean brush now, going back into blue, some of that violet. And I want to hit just a couple spots with this dark value. Okay, with a clean brush, let's go to light magenta. Let's get a little light portrait pink. And with this, I want to show the continuation of this bright highlight here. Okay, that's going behind the snowflake here. So I'll just fill in some of this and make it kind of come down and sort of meander down like so. Alrighty, going back to my number 3 nylon round brush, and I'm going to take some violet now. Let's get a little raw umber just to dull it just a little bit, and now titanium white to bring it up. Okay, pulling through as I turn it to a point, and I'm going to start playing this value on top of our in focus foreground snowflakes here. And there's really no right or wrong. I'm just going to randomly just tap this in, dance the brush around. I can put strokes, I can tap dots. And the whole idea here is not to cover up all that pink, of course, and just kind of break it up like this. And in this way, it's going to give it very realistic effects and really bring this to life and give it kind of that, kind of ice and reflective kind of features to it. Okay, I want to do the same thing, but this time I want a little bit more violet, and now I want a little light magenta into that. So I want the color a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more saturated right here, because this is going to be more in the light where the colors are going to be kind of more lit up and the sun kind of making them more vibrant on that side. Alrighty, now I have my number 2 nylon flat brush. This is going to help to get into small areas and apply some highlights. So I'm just going to take pure titanium white. Okay, just loading up like so, and I want to hit, of course, not everything, but I really want to put in these direct highlights and really shine this up. This is going to really give the impression that the sun is really zinging off of these snowflakes here, and also giving it some transparency and ice effect this way. Okay, and up here, I really want to make this white a little bit more heavy, as this is really pointing up and hitting the sun a lot more direct than the rest of the snowflakes are. So just going to add, like I said, more white there. That's going to really give the realism and really take the shine and all the zing to another level this way. Okay, so I'm just taking that blue and that violet mixture. I want to knock back some of this. And by knocking back some, but not all, as you can see, the very outline of some of those highlights there, it shows the transparency as we look through the snowflake in some areas. And we want that to be able to give it that ice effect and also to reflect the background and the shadow, as well as the stuff that's in the background that's really getting hit by the sun as well. Alrighty, so with my script liner brush now, lots of water and titanium white, I'm going to go ahead and sign, and I want to thank you once again for following along and all of your support. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and you enjoy my art and enjoyed this video. That really helps me to continue to put out more content. And please drop your questions and comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So as you can see, it's really just different techniques, different brushes, and this is a really good piece for learning a lot of different things. And I'm telling you, those natural bristles is the way to go. Those are super easy for blending and getting all those out of focus effects. So with that said, I want to wish you guys a happy winter, a happy new year, and a happy painting to you.